Welcome back. You're watching JKL, and the bench is graced this evening by Bob Njagi and Nick Oyo, who are held in illegal captivity in Uganda. And despite days of denials and multiple interventions by the authorities here in Kenya, they are finally home to document their story here and why they were in Uganda. Bob and Nick, many thanks for staying with us. Full hog now. I was on you, Bob, when you had given us the elaborate of what happened. Very elaborate with what happened when you guys were picked up. So, did you speak at the manifesto launch of Robert Chagulanyi?
I did not speak because when we got to the podium, the rally was ongoing, and Robert Chagulanyi was actually delivering his maiden speech of the manifesto. And soon after that speech was over, the rally had ended. So we got to engage at that point. I stood up to celebrate with him as he was ending his speech. But I did not see the need to speak at the point because I came there to listen to the manifesto, not to speak, but to listen. Okay. Yeah, so unfortunately thereafter is when we were abducted the following morning.
Yeah.
Yes.
And after the abduction, Bob, still on you, where were you taken?
We were driven to a military base, a military camp outside Kampala city. It's called Serakasenyi Military Training Camp. This is a camp that is used specifically to train the Special Forces Command, who normally are responsible for the security and safety of the first family. So this is their training base where they normally do their practices. And we were being held in cells within that training camp alongside other foreign nationals such as Nigerians. There was one person also holding a South African passport, and quite a number of Ugandan citizens, civilians actually, were still being held in the same camp. This again is the constitution of Uganda, which states that civilians should not be held or prosecuted in a military base. So our detention was actually an illegal detention. We have undergone torture. We've undergone dehumanization in terms of being denied the right to speak to anyone, the right to associate freely, even the right to food was denied at times.
Right to movement.
Yeah, and the right to movement. All these are violations of human rights which constitute crimes against humanity.
Okay, and Nick.
Yeah.
More, of course, will be in the details of your state at the time when you were held in detention. How did you know General Muhoozi Kainerugaba?
As somebody we hear those issues about Uganda, but for us now in this case, we didn't know who is really involved, but we knew Special Forces and who is in command of Special Forces. But we were to confirm when we came out and you had the president speak and Muhoozi speak. So that's when we realized that this was top at the top.
Yeah.
This was right at the top.
And then the question begs, why did you name him? Were you interrogated in his name, or did you hear his name?
They never mentioned him to me, but this is a military camp. He is the head of military. Surely he should know what's happening in his camp.
He hosted a meeting on the 20th of October, Mashujaa Day, at the camp. He was present. We got information, we got intelligence from the people who are also prisoners in there. We have military persons who are in prison in the same camp, over 150 of them. They're the ones who cook the food, clean the place, so they bring us food. And some of them would whisper some information. And we got to hear that on the 20th of October, he met with the senior military officials at the camp. And following that meeting, we were transferred on the 23rd to another location, which is a safe house from outside the military camp, but still within the hands of the military. This is a house where they normally keep people within the civilian population. The house is located within an estate, so you have neighbors. They don't know what's happening in that particular house because the house has tinted windows. The gate is always closed, nobody coming in or out. You're kept in the rooms without moving, so nobody can see there's people in that house. That's why we stayed for 14 days before our release.
And the previous 24 days?
In the Serakasenyi military
days.
camp. 23 days there and 14 days in the safe house.
And so the whispers, were they very specific with the details of what Kainerugaba had instructed or directed?
They were not really specific on that person who was instructed, but you can tell the kind of atmosphere in that place. And that tells you that this is a serious engagement around the military. Because even the kind of things that they do there, you get bombs being thrown there because they are training. They're training, you hear guns and those kinds of formations they do. And of course, the bombs, the RPGs, very heavy bombs, you hear them. And sometimes you wake up and those are the things that wake you up.
From the inmates, the military prisoners that were in there, confessed that they are victims of General Muhoozi, in that he perceives them to be enemies, or rather his enemies according to his succession plan. So most of the people who were there were friends of their father, and they've been kept there because of transition politics. Yes.
Okay. So in the press statement today, you talked of torture. Elaborate further. How were you tortured? What was a daily life being in there for the first 24 days, and thereafter the last 14 days, which comes up to the total 38 days?
On the first time that we got there, the second day, we were called for interrogation. And so when they interrogate you, they've already opened your phone. So they are looking at your phone and asking you questions, specific questions about groups you are in. And you know, like me, being in politics and all this kind of activism, there are groups that you will find there, a lot of groups, a lot of things. So they begin to ask you those.
That's on WhatsApp?
Sometimes they want to ask you about the admin of those groups. Some of these groups you find yourself in. You don't even know who added you into these groups. But you find they're trying to now push you to say something. So when they think that you've not said what they think they should hear, then they start caning, sometimes punching, those kind of stuff.
Yeah, in caning, further. Okay, explain it further for our viewers. For how long? How many times in a day? Who would do that?
That was, me, I was caned twice. That was, there are two interrogations. So the first interrogation on the second day, they called me out, took me to a room somewhere, and started asking me about those things on my WhatsApp. So they're trying to, like, push towards some narrative of some sort. And when they think that I've not said the right things, seems like I'm hiding something or anything, they just put me, you know, we have those these handcuffs. They take my handcuff and tie it on to some of the chair, and they start, there's some sticks they have there. So those are things they're using to cane us. Yeah.
And Bob, in the course of that period, what exactly did your captors wanted to know, or to establish?
I think they had been given wrong intelligence by whoever fed them with intelligence, thinking that we were there on a mission to mobilize young people or the youths, to go to protest or such kind of activities, which I think they were totally misinformed. They went through our phones and they've had 38 days of doing investigations, but they have not taken us to court to charge us with any crime until today. I mean, if we had been participating in any illegal activities, I'm sure the government of Uganda would have charged us in court. But since they saw that this is an exercise in futility, that they are just arresting innocent Kenyans, and they have no ground to do so, so that's why they kept us for so long, only to release us when the pressure was building from different quarters. And at that point, I'd like to give a shout out to all Kenyans who came out in large numbers to support us. And I wish to just state the family of Nicholas Oyo, the mother, the siblings, Opeto, Elsie Oyo, Bento Ocheng, you know yourselves, the family of Aida Odinga, who is a relative to who's related to Nick. From Ida Odinga herself, she made a lot of efforts to reach out to the Foreign Affairs Minister to call for our release. We've had leaders like Martha Karua, who are tweeting every day, and Uhuru Kenyatta, who spoke to the Mhozi himself, as per what the rumor says. I can't fail to mention the diaspora community from the US. We have
the bloggers,
online bloggers. Human rights organizations have been there from the beginning. Amnesty International, Vocal Africa, KHRC, Kenya National Commission on Human Rights, the Defenders Coalition, the Kenyan Embassy in Uganda. The ambassador was very gracious to escort us back to freedom.
Mr. Josh Mangi.
Mr. Josh Mangi. He went out of his way because the military had refused to kind of loosen the hold on us. So we still had the hooded masks on from our point of captivity all the way towards past Kampala city. But when the ambassador came in, he actually ordered them to free us from that captivity. And he was gracious enough to even offer us dinner at one of the restaurants on our way back to Busia. That was about a 4-hour trip in the military convoy. When we got to Kenya, I can't again forget to appreciate the county commissioner of Busia. It's called Mchanga Mwachaunga, a perfect gentleman who processed us. We had issues with our immigration because we had been flagged, red flagged, so that we cannot cross the border back. And it took almost 2-3 hours to clear that red flag from our passports so that we can be cleared back into Kenya legally. And from then on, handed over to the security team in Kenya. The county commander, the AP commandant, the NIS were there to receive us, and we were well treated. We were taken to Busia County Referral Hospital for preliminary tests, and thereafter taken back to Busia County Police Station, where we were released back to the family. So I wish to thank these individuals within the government who took an extra caution to welcome us back, though we also say that 38 days was too long for Kenyans to be kept. If only the government had spoken out sooner, we don't need to have gone through all that fiasco. But again, I think the reason we went there is for us to witness the kind of violations happening in Uganda. And I appeal on this platform to the Ugandan leaders to free all political prisoners, including Dr. Kizza Besigye, and the Ugandan civilians we left behind. One of them is a brother to the Internal Affairs Minister for Uganda. His own brother was abducted. He was my cellmate. He's called Amos Ruongomano. They are looking for him. They don't know where he is. And the current location, the last location, is a place called Ronyo, a center called Ronyo. That's where we were being held. I hope he can use this information to secure the remaining of the people who are inside, including Nigerian nationals. The Nigerian embassy as well needs to take more concern about their own citizens who are rotting in that Serakasenyi place.
Okay. So let's come back to Sarah, because we will at length talk about the release and where exactly Mr. Josh Mangi, who is the head of the commission in Uganda, met you guys. But Nick, were you able to see anything in that military camp? And if yes, what were they?
The military camp, first of all, it's like some houses actually. They were not cells actually. They were not designed as cells. They were designed as houses for those soldiers. So when we came in, I think that is when they turned them into holding houses. Because now they put us in there. I found a Nigerian already in. He also found a Nigerian in. The person I was with is called John Alex Egbo. And he had been there one day. But he told me that he had been arrested earlier and even tortured. He even had marks. So when we got there, you could, first of all, it was not completely finished. It was a house that basically did not have windows and was a frame that was still being painted. We even had to be moved for it to be painted. And you could see outside the place. And you could see at least the soldiers doing some of the chaos work that they are doing there and all that kind of stuff. So we could have some time that they could come and talk to us. Some of them would give you chilling issues, asked, like somebody was telling me, that as a special forces, for them, they shoot to kill. And he was telling me that if you have 5 bullets, the report is going to be, how many people have you used the bullet on? And can they be found dead? Or if you did not kill them, then you injured them. So he was telling me they shoot from here all the way up. So those kinds of things are like scaring you to get you into a situation. Yeah.
Yes, Bob.
One shocking revelation is that when we got there on the first week, there are some soldiers who came to reveal to me that they participated in the Gen Z protest in Kenya, that they were actually moved from Uganda as military, dressed in Kenyan police uniform, to come and quell the riots in Kenya. So these are army officers who are, and that's why we're saying that this collaboration is a collaboration between states. That's why you're seeing what is happening in Kenya resonating in Uganda, resonating in Tanzania. And that's why we are coming out boldly to speak out against these violations of human rights across East Africa. So far that we're saying on the 9th of December, we shall be joining Tanzanians in the protest to call for justice for all the victims, both who have died in Tanzania, Kenyans and Tanzanians, and to call out this illegitimate government that is coming up now as an elected government. But we all know that the president swore herself in using the military. So this continued collaboration between the 3 states, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania, to oppress the citizens. You see, foreign nationals have been abducted in Kenya, being taken to Uganda. Again, the same happens, abductions in Kenya to Ethiopia. Now we are seeing abductions in Tanzania, Boniface Mwangi, happening again. So we as a people now must say enough is enough. And we are calling on the Kenyans to join hands in solidarity with the Tanzanians so that we are not divided by this, but actually this brings us together.
Okay. So that is in preparation for Tanzania, what you're talking about.
Correct.
But let's talk about then how your release happened. And at that time, were you conscious? And how were you driven back to the point that you met Mr. Joash Mangi?
First, we were transferred from Kasenyi to that safe house, and that was harrowing because you see, you are blindfolded, you don't know where you are going. There's only 3 places you can go to. It's either transfer, a release, or probably the other thing. Yeah, so it's a question of just waiting, and then we are taken in there, and after 14 days, they just come and pick us and put us in their vehicles, and we started moving towards, now we are blindfolded. So we also don't know, again, if it's another transfer or release. But then now we are hoping for the best. We are thinking that this is so many days, maybe something needs to be happening. I was getting information from somebody who, when we were transferred, he was brought from outside. So that's at least painted a picture that there is a lot of clamor for us.
What did he tell you?
He was telling me about the issues that were discussed in Parliament, which actually made me realize that being transferred was actually because they were hiding us from an inquiry that was supposed to happen in Kasenyi. So it was like this thing had been mentioned in Parliament, and they were coming to inquire at Kasenyi. So we were removed at 6 o'clock in the morning, transferred to this safe house, and then after 2 weeks, now the release. So as we moved towards the border, we are hooded, and we don't know where we are going. But it looks like they are a bit relaxed on us for a while, and they take us all the way to Kampala. I think it was outside Kampala, some depot that is a military depot of some sort. We could hear them do fuel and those kind of stuff, transfer vehicles. I think we transferred twice. And then we ended up hearing that you are going to speak to your mkubwa wenyu. Mtaongelesha mkubwa wenyu. So we are wondering, what do you mean by mkubwa wetu? Then after some time he comes and says, the ambassador is going to talk to you. So we thought that, in fact, it is like we are not sure how the state in Kenya would react to us. But he came in, and it was very cordial, and for us it was like, in fact, saved us from a lot, because 5 minutes before those vehicles came in, that is when the hoods were removed. It's like they didn't want him to see. But we suspect that they wanted to take us all the way to Busia in the hoods and deal with us for the last time. You know, for those people, sometimes this is a spot that they have. So yeah.
So Bob,
Yes.
Mr. Josh Mangi visited you in a facility.
Yeah, he came to a point where the cars had stopped, and we were told that there's somebody coming to talk to you. So we thought he would talk to us, then we continue going with this team of military officers. Huh? But when he saw us, he insisted that he has to accompany the convoy himself to Busia border. And so we had the military lead vehicle, a Land Cruiser, with the military guys armed. And then we had the vehicle for the ambassador and the chief head of the High Chief Commissioner, 2 vehicles, and the drone which we are in. So we traveled in this way all the way to Busia at night. From about 1 a.m. we got to, actually 12 p.m.
Yeah.
we got to Busia around 2:33 in the morning.
In the morning.
Then we had to clear with the immigrations for an hour. By 4, we had to go again to hospital, Busia County Hospital, referral. By 5, 6, we were back in the police station, and then we were united with our families, one of our family members. And from there now we had to drive by road again from Busia to Kisumu, where we got a flight to Nairobi to meet now our comrades as we have been welcomed in Nairobi. Yeah.
And you mentioned you had a dinner with the Mr. Mangi.
Yes.
And did he explain how he knew you guys were there, who was in touch with him,
Yes.
and basically alijuaje mko hapo?
He had been communicating with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in Uganda. As an ambassador of Kenya to Uganda, I think it's his responsibility. He explained to us that whatever efforts they had been doing, they were doing them quietly so as not to let out any information out. And apparently he had been in touch with the ministry a number of times, and they had assured him of our release, but they had not told him when. Until when we were being released is when they, I think, contacted that office, and together they planned how he would be part of the team that delivers us back to Kenya. That's what he explained to us was his role, which I must congratulate him for doing a good job as an ambassador. Yes.
Yeah. And Nick, were you in touch with anyone?
We were incommunicado all through that time. They took our phones, and in fact, we were not supposed to even have any information. But some of these askaris were becoming friendly because some of them, like I found out that my name Oyo is also a lot in Uganda. So it's like some people wanted to meet this person. And when we lost the former prime minister, somebody came and whispered to me. I didn't believe it at first, but then another person again came and said the same. So I began to think this could be real. And then a third person came, and it was me who informed him. Yeah. You know, in Kasenyi, there is a latrine. So this latrine and the bathroom, we usually have time to come out and go, one person at a time. So sometimes he can come and pass through where I am as he goes straight to the latrine. The latrine is directly adjacent to me, but for him it's a bit further. But now we had devised a way that he can come in, and while he's passing there, he can say a few things in Sheng, because a lot of that they won't understand. So that's when I informed him that, you know, we've lost Raila Odinga. And that one he almost broke our code, because he went and came again and went and, you know, like he did not really believe it at first. Yeah. So I could get some of those snippets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And were you offered food?
We ate the meal that was there was basically one recipe. It is posho, which is here ugali, but this is a different one. It's a bit softer grade. So this is posho and beans. And so they bring it twice a day, and then you get porridge in the morning.
In the morning?
Yeah.
And Bobby, you did not eat for 14 days. How did that happen? Was it hunger strike or?
Okay, first and foremost, just because he has mentioned the name of a great man, Right Honorable Prime Minister, rest in peace. This was one of my mentors back in ODM, and it was very unfortunate to lose him, especially at this time when he was doing so much to keep a balance in the country. And therefore, I say to the family, poleni sana, we were not there, but we shall come to pay our respects. You had asked about our food.
14 days.
14 days, yes. I opted to start fasting on the 25th of October because I realized that they were using food as a weapon for us. They would sometimes not put sugar in the porridge so that you ask for sugar. And so therefore I said, let me deny myself of all this so that I can be able to focus on prayers, because sometimes we need spiritual intervention in some kind of situations. There are many people who are in there, had spent over 6 months, 5 months, and they told us, you guys, the earliest you'll be out is after the Ugandan elections.
That is 2026.
Yes, 2026. And we could see the reality. There was no sign of us getting out. The military has denied they're with us. The police don't know where we are. The judiciary has had a habeas corpus, which has been dismissed in court. So all factors lead that to a point that you're not going to be released soon. And then I turned on to prayer and fasting, and that works miracles as well. We are here with you, and I thank God, above all, I thank God for us being here.
And Nick, given the experiences that you have had, and this is a trend across East Africa, and you guys have had your tour, Bob's still on you. The last time you were held in captivity in Kenya, released after more than a month. Do you compare the state of interrogation where you are kept in Kenya, your condition in Kenya and in Uganda?
In Kenya was worse. I'd rather in Uganda because of many things. In Kenya was a serious abduction. Nothing compared to what I went through, even these 38 days, was not comparable to Kenya. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because in Kenya it was complete, incommunicado. The windows were sealed, total darkness. At least I could see light in this other place. I could walk to the toilet in this other place. I think we are actually the ones exporting these abductions now to Uganda. We are perfecting them. If we're learning from them, we're learning very fast. And these are human rights violations which we shall continue to fight, Ayub. But more importantly, we are moving away from protest into now power. We are organizing ourselves as an alternative leadership in this country. I myself will be vying for the presidency of the Republic of Kenya come 2027, August, and they should be prepared for a serious battle. In our cadres, we have governors, people who are vying for governorship. We have senatorial aspirants, we have members of parliament, most of whom are young people, Gen Zs, the women, the persons with disabilities. We are pushing these cadres of people to take over leadership of this country and to salvage this country from where it is today, to put it back on a path of a serious development. We have seen in Burkina Faso what young people can do. Within 2 years, they have changed the economic status of their people, just by leveraging on the land resources, cutting down on corruption and government spending. We don't need rocket scientists to come and change this country. We have enough young leaders who are ready to lead. And so we ask Kenyans to join the Free Kenya movement, the People Power movement, as an alternative voice of the people. And we are ready to move this a step higher towards liberating this country.
Okay. And Nick, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni has described you two as experts in riots. Are you?
I think if he says riot, we've done a number of petitions. In fact, for us, when we started to feel the conclusion that this was a coalition between these people, is because the timeline. In October, we had, I think, 4 cases coming up. Petition E160 of 2022, petition E100, I think 050 of 2025,
122.
Petition 122 of 2023, and there is another petition in Court of Appeal where we are saying that a stay that was done by IBC, which they've never appealed, to be lifted. So those 4 cases came in October. We lost that time. We are suspecting that that was one of the pushes because we had pushed IBC. In fact, we had petitioned IBC on the 1st of September. They replied to our petition. Unfortunately, by the time they grabbed us, we were supposed to now follow up on that reply. So we feel that this matter had something. It's like they were stopping us from pushing what we had said, that the independent candidates should participate equally. So we've come back and we found that a number of places we didn't get independent candidates because it happens that they restricted them using the stay of execution. So we think that this is a matter that they are doing to make sure that they restrict the independent candidates. They don't like people who can think independently. And that is what Free Kenya pushes.
Yeah.
I think to answer to your question, when he says that we are experts in riots, perhaps they want to turn that picture negatively. Kenyans have Article 37, the right to peaceably protest, okay? Mm-hmm. And when we have to use such means, we shall deploy them. Just like we are calling on Kenyans to come together on 9th of December to use Article 37. Otherwise, protests in themselves are not an end in themselves. It's a means to an end. It's an agitation by the people. When we were protesting in 2024, it's millions of Kenyans who came out, young people. So unless they're saying all Kenyans are experts in riots. And let me tell you one thing, protest is what gave birth even to the new constitution. We cannot underestimate the power of protest. In the most developed countries today, US, UK, they're having protests on a daily basis. As long as you're protesting for your rights, it is not bad. Yeah. If they don't want there to be protests, let them follow the rule of law.
Even them in Uganda, they had to use the bush to get this country. So really when somebody says this, it's like they're forgetting somebody who doesn't see their past, because even them, they had these issues.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Bob, whilst you have mentioned the freedoms that our constitution envisions, have you studied, or have you guys studied the Ugandan law, and to be specific, what it says about picketing and organizing demonstrations?
First, Ayub, we are not organizing demonstrations in Uganda. Ugandans have the right to organize their demonstrations. They've not called for us to go and help them. For us, it feels like it's like showing Ugandans as people who don't know what they need to do. Yeah. They would organize what they want to do. We did not go to Tanzania to help them. We were in the fridge. So if anybody calling for experts, then we should have been there to help Tanzanians to organize. Mm-hmm. So really, it's just a matter of somebody finding a way to create words and color you bad and make you look like you're something else. But the reality of the fact is protests happen across the country. Even Uganda is a country in this world. It probably would happen if the conditions are the way they are.
Okay. When we get back from the break, Bob and Nick, we talk about what next. You talked about Tanzania. You talked about Uganda as well, Free Kenya movement. And this is not the first time. You have now done a complete tour of Jumuiya Afrika Mashariki. Yeah. So we talk about whether spirits have been broken of the two who are part of the political activists who are crossing Jumuiya Afrika Mashariki in what in many quarters in those other jurisdictions have been termed as political activism and the political infection that seems not to stop coming from Kenya. But to what effect? All that is on the bench after the break. Stay tuned.